Hey out there, Seraphon users, players, leaders. I just thought I would produce a little bit of that content that, I promised you in the beginning and give you some morsels for the mind. Today's unit of choice is the Stegadon. The Stegadon is pretty unimpressive on his own, but sweet in combos, especially because of the loadout you can give him. What I think really works well with the Stegadon is first, he's got to have the bow. The other things, his ranged attacks are just not very useful. He is too squishy of a unit, especially in the meta, to be able to take on some really big threats head on. He's great for backing up the backfield, but not so much for trying to be aggressive with. So the bow is the best way to go. But the best loadout is the Skink Alpha. I have to say this thing is awesome. First off, Stegadons give reroll the Battle Shock to Skink units, which is amazing. But the Skink Alpha on his back can issue an order to one unit that has Skinks in the keyword unit in their unit. And he can do this to a unit that's 8 inches away, not within 3 of an enemy, and they get to have a free roll for their hero phase. They get to move in their hero phase D6, so a free roll for that, and then also they get to reroll hits of 1 to hit, and that is an amazing ability to have because of the things he can stack that with. Now, what I'm thinking is, where do you get the Stegadon? You can buy them separately, try to work them with the synergies, because Seraphon is all about synergies, and that can work. But I think he's best in 2 combinations. One is in the Thunderquake Star Host. In the Thunderquake Battalion, he is able to work with the Stegadon. They are brothers of the same mother. They are amazing. The Stegadon itself is something I would never leave home without. I would bring 2. I would always just have that in your army. But if you're going to bring him, he is really well supported by the Stegadon. The reason being, the Stegadon can give that Skink Alpha's power to the Stegadon. He is able to give that power to the Stegadon because the Stegadon has Skinks in the name. So instead of hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s for the Stegadon's crazy D6 antic laser of death, he can now reroll those to hit. So that 4 is a reroll and almost essentially like hitting on a 3, which is amazing. But it gets better. So that is pretty amazing. In the Starquake host, you can also reroll all hits with one of the powers, or reroll all wounds. So your Stegadon goes up a level in power. So it's not just hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s to hit. It's also rerolling all those 3s. So whatever gets through to hit, 50%. Let's say you roll a 7, 50%. Let's get 3 through. You're going to be rerolling those 3s to hit to wound, and bam, that Stegadon becomes so powerful. And he's pretty movie. I mean, he moves, I can't remember what his move is. I think it's probably like a 5 or a 6. He's pretty slow, but with an extra D6, he becomes as fast as a group of Skinks. And that means he can get to places to block out your enemy. The other side of that is the Heaven's Watch Star Host. The Heaven's Watch Star Host, which is the battalion that has a lot of different things in it. It's basically the Thunderquake plus a bunch of units of Skinks, which is perfect. It gives you your battle line, it gives you your general, it gives you everything you need for your army all in this one. And the reason why I think it's such a great one is because it gives you so much diversity. Almost everything in that one has Skink keyword in it. So anybody that you need to make move faster to get to an objective, you need to give them the hit to roll, you can do that. Plus, it automatically gives you re-rolling 1s on wounds. So you're stacking that. Your Stegadon will be almost as good as it currently is because it's hitting on 4s, wounding, or re-rolling 1s, then wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Amazing. And then you could give it to a group of Skinks. Skirmishers of 8-inch movement plus a D6, and then they can run away when they're being attacked. Plus, if they're in a group of 40, like you're going to be bringing them because this new meta has all of those huge units, you move them in a group of 40, that gives them a +2 to hit, so they're now at a 4-3 to hit, rerolling 1s to misses on hits, and then on wounding, you're wounding on, I believe it's a 4 with their little, javelins, and then you can reroll 1s on that, so that is becoming so much vastly effective. 40 arrows that are going to hit, 50% of the time. Even getting 25% in is a devastating skirmisher attack to it. And nothing is worse than having your skink unit decimate, somebody's Chaos Warriors or something like that. Not to say that they're going to be the best for that, but that's what a skirmisher's there for, removing those extra bits. But it is a great addition. I know people look at the Stegadon and go, great, not worth the points. And maybe he isn't on his own. But when you put him in the right combinations, he is a beautiful addition to the synergy that is Seraphon. Mwah! Magnifico!